What's going on? This is Blaine with from Riff and Tone. I am here with probably one of the most beautiful guitars I've ever seen in person, which is the Caparison Horus Snow Cloud. This is, I believe, a 1 in 40 color on this guitar, so it's extremely rare. I think probably my first metal show I ever went to, I became obsessed with Caparison and always made it a goal to have one, mainly because of just how awesome they look. I don't think there's a more beautiful metal guitar out there than the Caparison. It's kind of imprinted on me from early on. I saw a band at the time called The Absence, who was signed to Metal Blade, and their guitar player, Peter Joseph, played Caparison. And I was a really big fan of his guitar work and their style, and that just kind of stuck with me. And then later on, people like Adam and Joel from Killswitch, Christopher Amott and Arch Enemy, I think the guys in maybe Soilwork, I believe is who is sponsored by them as well. So there's just badass players that played Caparison. So it kind of like, I always wanted to see what is this about? There has to be something behind it. Also a guy, I think his name is Matthias. He's got a hard name to say, but he always plays like a 7-string and just taps and shreds. But point being, there's amazing players that play these guitars. So I had to kind of get to the bottom of it and see why. And after 15 years or so, I finally was able to get one, and I see what it's all about. It definitely lived up to the hype. Also Michael Romeo plays them as well. So this particular model, this has a mahogany body, has a hard maple neck with a rosewood fretboard. This fretboard is really thin. I mean, it's like built to shred, really. One of the more thinner necks that I've ever felt, honestly. And the rosewood is extremely smooth. It feels really, really good. One thing to look out for is the scale length is a 24.75 scale length. So if you're used to 25 and a half, that's going to be kind of a change for you. It was for me. So one thing I had to do was, I felt like when I was bending, it was much easier to go, let's say, a whole step up than on my other guitars. So what I did was I added a spring for a little more tension, and I added some thicker strings, and it kind of neutralized it to where now it feels very comfortable to play. But that's just one thing to watch out for as far as setup goes. It has the clock inlays that will say whatever fret it is will tell 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock. The time will change. This is one of the coolest inlays that they have. I mean, it really adds to the overall look of the guitar. And that's one thing that always stood out to me about this guitar. So it has a Shaler tremolo system, which is licensed under Floyd Rose, but this is one of the best tremolos I've ever played on. The tuning stability is incredible, and it sounds amazing. It's just very, very well oiled, I guess you could say. They're German made, so that's a really nice feature. And the fact that it's gold on this one is like, it's really nice. It looks good. It has a push-pull knob. Whenever it's pulled up, it's for the front pickup. Down, it's for your bridge pickup. I think these come stock, and a lot of Caparisons come stock with Caparison branded pickups. I bought this used, so this had a tone zone in it, I believe, before, and I wasn't really a big fan of the sound, so I'm guessing the original owner might have switched it out to that. So I went ahead and put Seymour Duncan full shred in there. I'm a big fan of Seymour Duncan and their sound, and to me, for what I do, I think it's a much more fitting sound. So I changed that out. A cool feature they have here is, this is where the input jack is, way on the back, which is very convenient. I didn't really use it to its full potential just sitting here, but playing live, it's much harder to pull this out with this sitting in the back like that. Oh yeah, it says 27 frets. That's one big thing that's you don't really get that often on guitars. And despite being a bolt-on, you can really get up here pretty easily. I use the 24th through the 27th mainly for like tapping and stuff, just like for like a little sweep tap type thing. But it's a cool feature to have. It gives you some more ranges. So here is a look at the back of the guitar, and like I said, it's a bolt-on, but look at this cutout. I mean, it's almost like, honestly, it's almost as smooth as playing a neck through. This is like very, very, very thin. You know, they did a really, really good job on this bolt-on. So we have Caparison. It says designed by Caparison, made in Japan. You don't really see too many Caparisons out there, and I think one big reason is they're fairly expensive. I mean, it's not a cheap guitar, and your beginner guitar player is probably not going to get one of these. I would say it's more for someone who's been doing it for a long time, just because of the price. But you're really getting despite them making multiple of, maybe multiple Horuses in whatever blue, or multiple Tats in black, whatever they have each year, you're basically like getting it's like a custom guitar as far as quality goes. I mean, everything is just, it feels perfect. I mean, everything about it is spot on. The attention to detail. Because this guitar is from 2006, and I mean, it's 2020. It's about 14 years old, and this, I mean, it looks like a brand new guitar. I mean, a lot of that was to do with the previous owner taking care of it, but you have quality materials, with this guitar. So one of the big features too that I really like on this guitar is this headstock. I think it looks so cool. I believe they call it a devil's tail, if I'm not mistaken. But it's just such a cool, badass looking headstock. I believe the guy who runs Caparison was a head guy over at Jackson in Japan years ago, and then broke off and wound up taking over and making Caparison. So you're kind of getting a lot of that knowledge from the Japanese Jackson shop, which is very notable as far as the guitar making. You're getting that experience with these guitars. Also, this has Godot tuners. Godot tuners and serial numbers on the back. That's always a great feature. But I mean, unfortunately, I never got a chance to test one of these out. I just kind of took a shot in the dark when I bought it, just because I've always wanted one. So that's part of the reason why I'm doing this video, is to tell you, if you've ever wanted one or want to try one, you're not going to regret it. These are amazing guitars. I mean, they're perfect for metal, if that's what you play. But I think they feel so good and it sounds so good. I think they can cross genres as well. I mean, it's a beautiful guitar. That's really all I have to say about it. So if you have any questions or anything, or want to add something to it, go ahead and leave it in the comments section. And appreciate your time. Have a good one.